Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Mid-Level Media. And sometimes I just got to turn the camera on. I got to fire it up, and I just got to talk about some things that are on my mind. And I've started this video. This is like the fifth time I've started this video. I'm not exactly sure how I want to approach this, but I want to talk about purchasing decisions, like my mindset on collecting, how it's kind of changing, how it's shifting, how I've been thinking about some of these recent announcements and some of these upgrades, and how I really been like questioning like a lot more than I have in the past. Like, do I need this? Is this something I absolutely need? Is this going to be there in 6 months? Really questioning the FOMO of it all. Because we just got the announcement of the Golden Child, and this really kind of, well, not just this one, but also Reanimator, which we'll get into as well. But the Golden Child was just announced, a VSU version on 4K from Vinegar Syndrome. And it's like, I got to get that because I collect all the VSUs, right? I've got 1 through 11. The last one was Virtuosity, and this one's number 12. Ironically, this was number 11 in the Paramount Presents line, and now it's number 12 as a part of the VSU line. So and I haven't watched this yet. Like, that's the whole thing. It's like I had this Paramount Presents Blu-ray and I haven't even watched this yet. Do I need to jump into a 4K that's going to cost me $50? That these are the kind of things that I'm thinking about now as these releases get announced, because it's 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I wouldn't have questioned this. Like, I was going wild. I was getting everything. It didn't matter if I just purchased the Blu-ray and didn't watch it or not. I got the 4K because in my mind it was the best version. I wanted to own the best version of every movie that I could get my hands on. And of course, like, FOMO plays a part, the YouTube channel plays a part. It's like, oh, this is a hot new release. I can get it in, I can watch it, I can talk about it on the channel. And I want to make a video at some point just talking about some releases that I got just to talk about on the channel, or just because I got caught up in the hype of it all, because that's a very real thing, guys, especially when you're on here and you're just so entrenched in all this stuff, like hype and like what people say about stuff and how people get excited and how people react to things and some of the things that they say. Like, I'm in a very unique position, like not unique in the sense that there's not other people that are in this position, but I'm in a unique position where I'm on YouTube and I'm hearing everybody's comments and stuff. It's all just coming in at all times. Like, I'm seeing comments like by the minute. Like, sometimes when I'm at work, I'll see a comment and I'll look at it. So I'm seeing this stuff all the time. I'm seeing you guys' thoughts on this stuff all the time. And yeah, the Golden Child. Back to the Golden Child. Before we get into it, though, guys, like, comment, subscribe. This is going to be a very off the cuff, just everywhere, all over the place kind of video. You know how I do it. The Golden Child was just announced, a 4K from Vinegar Syndrome, and I'm really going back and forth on like whether I should get it or not. Like this, and I was wondering like what would be the VSU that would make me question whether I would get it or not, because I've gotten every single one since they've come out. And I think it's the Golden Child, because I'm looking at this Blu-ray right here from Paramount Presents. It's a nice Blu-ray from Paramount Presents. I'm sure it looks really good. And like I said, I have not watched this yet. So I'm thinking to myself, do I just take the chance and just let this slip by and not get it? And will it be available from Vinegar Syndrome? Will this be one that sells out? Or will it be available in a year to get in a subscriber week sale for $25? Can I get it for less? Because if it goes on sale for $25, absolutely, I'll go ahead and get it and I'll complete the line. But if I let it slip through and then it sells out and then 13 gets announced and I want to get that one and I get 13 and then I get VSU 14 next year and then there's no Golden Child anymore, I'm going to get irritated. I already know that I am, that I didn't get the Golden Child on 4K spine number 12. It's going to be a missing piece in my VSU collection. So I start to think about that. But then I'm like, you know what? That's dumb. Why am I a slave to these like particular lines? I don't do it with anything else. Like, it's just the VSUs, and they're really nice, magnetic cases, all that stuff. Like, I love the VSUs from Vinegar Syndrome. I think it's one of the best pieces of physical media that comes out. But it's like, why do I have to be so beholden to this particular line because of one movie? And again, I got a nice edition of this film, and I'm sure this Blu-ray looks great. I'm sure the 4K will look better, and it's got new features. It's got a lot of new features in it. But do I really need it? Because that thing's going for $43 right now, and this is just for this weekend as I'm filming this. Now, of course, as this is done, the flash pre-order sale is over with, and when the next time I have the opportunity to order it, It's going to be on May the 23rd. And by that point, it's going to be $45. And again, plus tax, it's going to be nearing 50 bucks to get a movie that I haven't seen that I already spent like 15 to 20 bucks on back in 2020 to get this, because I bought this back in 2020. I might have bought this for 20 bucks, 22 bucks or whatever when it came out. And again, I haven't watched this yet. Why am I going to jump into a 4K just because it's a part of a line? Like that is literally my only reason. So it really makes me question like my purchasing decisions, like why I do the things that I do, because I could get 4 movies that I've never seen that I'm actually like really interested in. Not that I'm not interested in watching The Golden Child. I'm sure it's a great film with Eddie Murphy. I am interested in watching it, but again, I've already got it on Blu-ray. I get 4 of the movies on Blu-ray, maybe a couple 4Ks, and 2 Blu-rays for the same price that I don't already have in the collection. So again, I start to think about that as well. But then you go back to like, okay, well, I'm a movie fan, obviously, first. It always irritates me when people are like, you're a collector first, then a movie fan. No, obviously I'm a movie fan first. Otherwise I wouldn't collect at all. Like that's just a stupid statement to make in my opinion. But I'm going off on a tangent with that. So yeah, I'm a movie fan first, then a collector. I want to see all the movies and experience all the movies that I can, but also the collector side of me is like, well, I also do this because I like to collect and I like to collect certain lines and numbers and all that kind of stuff. I get into that too, to a certain extent, because the Paramount Presents line, I think I have all these except for the First Wives Club. That's the only one I'm missing. I still need to get that one, but I'm pretty complete on this line and also the Vestron video line. But that's The Golden Child, guys. But that kind of inspired me to just go ahead and make this. But I've been thinking about this for a while, probably since Reanimator got announced on 4K from Ignite Films. And again, I'm not saying anything about the company itself. I'm really not. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't support them. I'm sure they put a lot of work into it. It's a small company. But for me, $80 for a box set release, pretty much just a Arrow style box set release. If Arrow Video put it out, it would be $45 tops. If even Vinegar Syndrome put it out, it would be $45 tops with tax, because we just saw it with The Golden Child. Also, The Keep, I think, was like 45 bucks. But because it's a smaller company, because it's Ignite Films putting it out, and yeah, they got a new documentary or something like that in as well, they're charging $80 for a box set. And when that was announced, I was like, I can't do that. I just can't. I can't do these $80 box sets, especially for films that I like. I like Reanimator. It's not one of my all-time favorites though. I just enjoy the film. And this is the Arrow Steelbook right here. And in my opinion, this is a great addition. This is a great Steelbook. I got this from FYE back in the day, I think on sale for 15 bucks. It's a great addition. I just watched it on Blu-ray last year with my wife, last October, I think. It looked great on Blu-ray. It probably had a 4K scan, looked phenomenal, had its own great special features as well. And like I said, it's just a really nice Steelbook with some cool artwork on the disc. You got some cool artwork on the booklet. So it's like I already have a nice premium edition of this film that I got for 15 bucks. Do I need to shell out $80 to get a box set? Now I am on YouTube and, I do make money off of this, off of video. So part of me is like, well, it's justified because I could use it to make content and people deserve to know about this box set. So I should do it. But then I'm like, no, I'm not going to be a slave to the system. And honestly, I feel like the mindset of you guys is kind of going where I'm going. We're kind of shifting together, and maybe I'm shifting because you guys are shifting. And I'm kind of hearing that as I go. But people are kind of done with this kind of stuff. I feel like there's a group of people that's leaning more into the premium box set stuff. And then there's people that are just completely turned off by it, and I certainly am. It's like, okay. And to give Ignite Films credit, they have multiple versions. I think there's a regular like slipcover version for 50 bucks. And I think there's a standard version for 30 bucks. There's also a standard Blu-ray. It might be the standard is fit. I don't remember, guys, but I know there's a slipcover version. I know there's a slipcover Blu-ray version for, I think, $40 or something like that. Still a little pricey, for a standard, 4K version for 50 bucks. And it's like, at the end of the day, if I'm going to get it, I'm going to get the box set. But I'm kind of just holding out at this point. Like I do kind of want the 4K Reanimator at some point, but I want it for like 25 bucks, when it's on Amazon or it's on sale at some point. I can get it without a slipcover and it's fine. So, that's just what I'm feeling like. And I feel like people are getting turned off by this kind of stuff. It's like, okay, you can get Reanimator on 4K, but if you want the really nice edition, it's going to cost you $80. And it's the same thing that Disney's doing right now with releasing these movies that we've all been waiting for, that we all want. Just Steelbook. Only 4K Steelbook. Tombstone, only 4K Steelbook. Kingdom of Heaven, only 4K Steelbook for $55. We've also got A Knight's Tale coming from Sony. Now, this is down to $42, but I start to think to myself, okay, I got A Knight's Tale on DVD. And certainly I want a Blu-ray upgrade, but I was looking on Blu-ray.com, and there's a Knight's Tale and a First Night Blu-ray double pack, and I think it was like $12. I was like, should I just get this? Then I'll have A Knight's Tale on Blu-ray, and I'll have First Night on Blu-ray. And I love First Night. I remember seeing that movie in the theaters back when I was a kid. So I was like, should I just get this $12 Blu-ray with both films? And I'm not like super into the double pack stuff. I like the individual releases, but I'm like, I'll have A Knight's Tale on Blu-ray, and I'm sure it looks good on Blu-ray. And I'll have First Night on Blu-ray as well. Now, First Night is a movie that, not that I don't like A Knight's Tale, but First Night is a movie I probably would look to shell out $42 for a Steelbook Up, because like I said, I love that movie. Richard Gere, Sean Connery, great film if you haven't seen that. But yeah, A Knight's Tale. It's like $42 for Steelbook. That was one of my most anticipated for the month of May. And it's like, I'm getting to I don't know if I want that anymore. I really don't. It's like, I don't even know if there's a ton of new special features or anything like that, but contrasting to that, Vinegar Syndrome did just announce, along with The Golden Child, Dirty Work on 4K, which I have a nice, DVD of Dirty Work. But the thing about Dirty Work is that I look at this release that Vinegar Syndrome's putting out. I don't love the cover. I don't love the hairy chest cover. But it's got two cuts. It's got the original cut and it's got the dirtier cut for, I think, the first time maybe on physical media. The Blu-ray sold out. It's got a brand new documentary that's like 60 minutes long, and it's got like 9 additional interviews and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, this is worth it. This is worth it to me. And that's going to cost me about, $50 as well. But that's the release out of all the new Vinegar Syndrome announcements that I think I'm going to get. And I am going to get it. I'll just go ahead and say it, because after this comes out, that sale will be over. I am going to get Dirty Work. I think that's the only release this weekend from Vinegar Syndrome that I'm going to get. And the reason is because first off, it's an upgrade from DVD to 4K, and there's tons of features, and there's 2 cuts. There's dirtier cut, and I love this movie. I love this movie, It's just like Ace Ventura. That was just announced. Now, I wouldn't put Dirty Work up there with Ace Ventura. Like, if they announced 2 editions of Dirty Work, I wouldn't get both. I would just get one. But Ace Ventura, like, that's one of the most important comedies, like, of my childhood. So when that was announced, I was like, okay, I'm getting the Steelbook and I'm getting the regular 4K, just because I love this movie so much, and I want to support Jim Carrey movies because I want more of those on 4K. So Dirty Work is one that I'll put the money in, because I've seen this, I love this, and it's got all kinds of additional stuff right there. So that's an example of one that I will get. Going into another one, let me bring this up, because some of these movies, it makes me feel weird, because it's like I've been preaching about this stuff for a while. It's like, I would love to get this from this company, and this from this company, and this from this. So it kind of feels like, okay, I need to put my money where my mouth is. Now it got announced, I need to just go ahead and get it. But I'm sorry, guys, these prices, and then, I'm not trying to get into anything. I'm really not. I've been actively trying to avoid this topic, because I don't want it to spark a bunch of shit in the comment section. But then you throw the tariffs in. Okay, so if you're getting these overseas items, not only are you spending $55 on a 4K box set of The Nice Guys, which is the next release I want to talk about, not only are you spending $55 on this release, but you're spending a 10% tariff cost, which adds another $5.50 to that. So that puts it up to $60. Then you're paying for shipping, which puts it up to like $66, $67. Then you're paying for tax, which puts it up to about $73, $74. And all of a sudden you're paying $75 for a movie you really like, maybe close to loving. I do really like The Nice Guys, and I've been wanting a nice edition of The Nice Guys, and it's got some great special features, and I'm sure it's going to look great. But you know what? I popped this Blu-ray in the other day, and I was watching it, and first off, I was just getting back into the movie. I didn't watch the whole movie, but I was getting back into it because I love being in this world. I think it's super entertaining and fun. Ryan Gosling, Russell Crowe, so great in this film. And the movie's got a great like visual quality and look to it as well. But I'm watching this Blu-ray and I'm like, you know what? This Blu-ray looks freaking good. Like it really does. And this is from 2016, so it's a newer film. Of course, it's gonna most newer films look good on Blu-ray, guys, and you'll notice a difference in 4K, but it's gonna be a pretty like minor difference compared to like an older film on Blu-ray versus 4K. That's gonna be a more substantial difference, always, usually 100% of the time. But the Nice Guys I was watching on Blu-ray, I'm like, you know what? This looks damn good. So it's like, yeah, I could get it in 4K and it's going to look better because I think they did a really good job on Drive on 4K. I thought that looked substantially better than the Blu-ray did. So I'm sure that this could look better as well. But I'm like, you know what? I'm happy with this. Like, this is good picture quality. So at the end of the day, I'm buying the Nice Guys release from Second Sight for the packaging, which is big, guys. I'm a physical media collector. I like a good box set. So I do put some stock into packaging for sure. So we're buying it for the packaging, for the booklet, and the transfer, the upgraded. I'm sure it's going to look a little bit better. And then the special features. But it's like, you know what? This Blu-ray, it looks good. And how many more times am I going to watch The Nice Guys? Maybe 2, 3 more times in my life. Maybe more than that. Maybe I'd watch it more if it was in better quality. But it's like, I don't know if I need that for 75 bucks. And also, like, is it going to be available in a year for me to get? Do I have to get all up in it and pre-order it immediately? Do I have to do that? Like, is that something I have to do? Or can I wait till I can afford it or afford it a little bit better? Not that I can't afford it now, but just being in a better position where I can just shell out 75 bucks to get the Nice Guys. Maybe there's just not a ton of stuff coming out in the month of September this year and I can just better afford it in that month. You know, I think about that as well. And it's like, you know what? I think I'm fine with this Blu-ray. I got a nice slipcover on this, and I'm sure the Second Sight's going to be amazing, but I think for right now, I'm good with just the Blu-ray version. Like I'm saying, guys, like as I'm saying all this, like I recognize there's some hypocrisy here because I talk about these 4K upgrades. I talk about these nice, juicy, chunky box sets all the time and how I love them. I do that all the time. But it's just getting to a point where it's like I'm starting to really be critical of myself, be critical of the process, be critical of collecting, and also recognize that to be able to sustain this and to be able to be in this hobby for many years to come, which I hope that I am. I don't want to ever be discouraged from being in the hobby. I got to start thinking about what's best for me and my best interest. And also, guys, you know, I got a wife and kids and they want to go on vacation and my son will be graduating in 3 years. I got to think about college. He'll be driving in a year. Got to think about a car for him. My daughter will be right behind him. So I got to start looking at stuff a little differently now. It was different when it was like 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's like that stuff felt like it was so far away. Now it feels very close and it feels like I'm here. So I got to start changing the way I buy stuff, purchase stuff. I'm not saying I'm throwing money out the window when I'm getting some of this stuff, but I got to start like really looking at these 50, 60, $70 box sets as do I absolutely need this? What is this going to do for me? What is this going to do for the channel? Is this something that makes sense for me to get and add to my collection? Again, I'm saying my collection, not your collection. It may make perfect sense to add it to your collection. That's what makes this hobby so great. We all collect things. We all care about things in different ways. And that's great. That's fantastic. And again, going back to the hypocrisy of it, I recognize that I talk about a lot of this stuff on the channel. I get some of this stuff in for free from some of these studios like Lionsgate and Arrow Video and Eureka and Umbrella Entertainment, MBD. I get stuff from Warner Brothers. I get stuff in from Paramount, but I'd like to think that I'm not saying I only talk about stuff that's a fair price, but primarily I feel like I talk about stuff that's priced fairly on the channel. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't reached out to Sony or Disney to get stuff, you know, from them, because I just don't think a $55 to $60 steelbook. I just don't think that's it. And people can be critical of Lionsgate, but I feel like they've kind of listened to the pricing and they've lowered their prices now. I think the new Crazy steelbook is $34.99. It's got brand new special features. So just because they were extremely low back in the day at 20 bucks, at 22 bucks, you know, doesn't mean they're the bad guy when they finally, you know, see their worth and they're like, you know what, we got all these other companies putting steelbooks out for 35, 40, $45. Let's crank up the prices a little bit because we're really adding value with these. We're getting the artists to come in and do newly commissioned artwork. Some studios don't even do that. You know, we're adding new special features in some cases. So I still respect Lionsgate. I was a little critical of them when they started jacking the prices up, but you know, it is what it is. It's like I think it's just when somebody prices their things a certain way, it kind of felt like Lionsgate was on our side for a little bit. And then when they started jacking up the prices a little bit, it kind of felt like, okay, this company that was on our side, is just like everybody else now. They're the enemy too. They're just like the other studios. I think that's kind of the mindset, but it's a fair price. I think some of the Lionsgate stuff. I think Arrow Video charges a fair price for some of their stuff. So I really try to just support and talk about the companies that I feel like is a fair price. Like, yeah, you may make the argument for Umbrella, but those are still really nice, like box set editions. Another one I wanted to talk about real quick, guys, is a movie that I don't really have like an opinion on, and I don't own it in the collection. But another big one, guys, is the Beyond 4K that just came out from Grindhouse Releasing. I had to show an extreme amount of restraint on that one. Like, I really wanted that because I enjoy Lucio Fulci as a director. I've never seen the Beyond. It looked freaking awesome. But again, $66.66 plus tax plus shipping. That's going to be 80 bucks. That is an $80 box set. And I can't do that at this point. Even though I really wanted to see the film, I wanted to own it. But I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Do I need a box set for a film I've never seen? Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. And also, I'm sure there's going to be a standard version at some point. I think, yeah, they've already announced a standard version of the Beyond on 4K. So that's going to come out standard version at some point. It's going to go down in price. It's going to go down to like, $29.99. I can get it on 4K then when I can get it off of Amazon and get free shipping for $29.99. Do I have to get an $80 box set of the Beyonds? It's cool. And 2 years ago, I would have got it. No questions asked. I'm just in a different place right now, guys, mentally. And some of you guys are going to applaud that. You're going to be like, bravo, it's about damn time that you got here with the rest of us. And I'm sure there's also going to be people that's disappointed in that. Maybe you want me to buy more and be able to showcase it on this channel. But like I said, I really feel like the mindset is kind of shifting. And at the end of the day, I feel like I've given people on this channel a false representation of like who I actually am. I've actually always been just like very good with my money. And, back in the day, guys, I did not buy like big elaborate DVD box sets or Blu-ray box sets. I didn't do that until the 4K era, until I got this channel and talking about stuff. And I didn't get into that stuff. I was very like budget, financially conscious, like back in the day. And it's like I would always get the cheapest version. If I went into Walmart, saw a $50 box set, a special edition of a movie, or a $20, I would always get the $20 version. I would get the cheapest, most standard, most generic edition that I could possibly get. That was always my mindset. And I feel like maybe I need to get back to that mindset. Now, there's going to be exceptions. Like I said, I'm still going to be dumb sometimes, and I'm going to get multiple editions of a movie I love, like Ace Ventura. I'm going to get a stupid action film like Drop Zone on 4K for 50 bucks because I love Wesley Snipes and I love, 90s action. But I'm really going to try to start trending in the right direction and just make better decisions. But that's the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave me your thoughts on all of this in the comments section. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a lot of rambling, a lot of me going back and forth, probably repeating stuff over and over again. But again, leave me your thoughts. I make these kind of videos because I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on bell notifications for all future videos, and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.